Our topic today, I'm talking about how intimacy affects relationship. So hii inamaanisha, like anytime I talk about intimacy, by the way, unafaa kujua I'm talking about sex, alright? So anytime intimacy iko involved kwa relationship, number one thing that itakuwa affected, of course, anytime mnagonjeka nyi wawili, so probably mmejipata mko na ka STI, imebidi mmeenda kwa hosi pamoja, kwa clinic pamoja, mpimwe. Hiyo ita complicate relationship because sasa itakuwa ni nani amepea mwingine ugonjwa. And obviously most of the times madem ndio wanakuanga wewe ndio umeniletea hii ugonjwa, and it could be even ni her, it could be even probably ni yeye may pick up through UTI na nini. So haezi jua, okay, you can't really know, but atakimbia kusema oh ni chali ndio ameniletea hii ugonjwa, ni chali ndio ameleta STI. So hiyo ita complicate relationship because it's like you really don't want to remain with this person, especially kama ni yeye ndio amekupea hiyo STI. So sometimes it gets complicated, okay? That's why nasema intimacy can complicate relationship through that way, okay? So number one ni kama kuna any disease that is involved, especially kama ni hizo za STI, STDs, hiyo inakuanga ni noma, okay? The other thing also that can complicate a relationship is when it gets to a point and one person is always the one asking for it. It's like it's one-sided. So huyu haitishangi, ni partner tu mmoja anaitishanga. So it could be the guy, it could be the lady. Probably hata ni dem anaitaka sana. Probably hata ni chali anaitisha sana. So when there is always that imbalance of hii kitu tunataka mara ngapi, ama hii kitu like ni nani anataka. So anytime you find that it's only one person pushing for intimacy, it means that the other person hako fully sold in to the idea. So sometimes that will complicate a relationship because sasa mwingine ataanza kufeel ni kama wewe unamuitishanga all the time, and probably for you as the other partner mwenye anaitisha ama mwenye anataka hiyo intimacy, for you feel like you are justified because unasema mko kwa relationship, it's not like you have another person, so the only person that can give it to you ni huyu mtu mmoja, and yet huyu mtu mmoja anataka kuimake weird that you shouldn't ask for it, okay? So here in a complicating relationship, and most of the times that can also lead to cheating. So anytime there's no intimacy involved, and maybe mlianziana na intimacy and you didn't agree whether you're not going to involve intimacy in your relationship, kama mkuwa agree, unapatanga inaanza kuruin the relationship, ama inaanza kucomplicate the relationship because maybe one partner akiingia kwa relationship alikuwa anajua that thing will be automatic, alikuwa anajua sex will be automatic, alikuwa anajua intimacy will be automatic, quality time with you will be automatic, but then ameingia hapo ana realize haya huyu msee it's almost like they want celibacy in this relationship, ama they want to practice celibacy. So hapo ndio cheating inaweza kuja, and it can be a guy, it can be a lady, it can be a guy, by the way, a guy can just decide, by the way, me I just want to remain celibate, maybe yeye anataka kitu serious, so for them they are looking to marriage. Lakini for a lady anaweza fika point a realize me am I ready to wait this long. Of course mmeona hiyo debate yenye imekuwa ikiendelea ya ladies saying that they prefer mwanaume mwenye anakunywa if they themselves are drinking, and prefer mwanaume mwenye anakunywa rather than mwanaume mwenye hakunywe. It's the same case even with the intimacy. Unaweza pata kuna chali mwenye ako on that celibate life, and that could lead to cheating. And even a girl can cheat on a guy because they decide kuwa celibate, okay? The other thing also, kitu kingine inaweza the other way intimacy can complicate a relationship. Sometimes you find that maybe imefika point kwa relationship yenyu, it's the only thing you talk about, okay? So ina supersede any other conversation that you have. And I had an interesting conversation with a lady. Nikamwambia there was a lady mwenye alikuwa na complain. There are these ladies, by the way, who always complain that the guy is always talking about sex, okay? He's always talking about intimacy. Oh, nitakuona lini? Oh, I can see you nini. So most of them like to say ati this guy likes to sexualize me, okay? Anytime anything anasema, any compliment anatoa ni kama ananisexualize. So most ladies wanapendanga kusema hiyo kitu sana. And I asked a lady about it. Nikamuuliza how do you react to such a lady? Akaniambia that lady kenye realize ni ati hata yeye haleti conversation ya kujaribu kuchange the topic, okay? So most of those ladies, na mimi ni witness, unapatanga most of them they will tell you change the topic, but they will never give you a topic. So yako like change the topic, lakini hata ikuambia tuongelelea kitu ingine. So they will always say tuongelelea kitu ingine, but they'll never bring that topic. So it's because you don't have anything else to talk about that as a guy unajipatanga sometimes uko like wacha ni compliment to them, and in that complimenting of the lady unajipata umeanza kwenda south, umeanza kuongelelea hizo vitu. Okay, so sometimes sikutaka, sometimes it's just like it's just that probably as a lady pia we hauna story na pia chali hana story, so the only thing you can talk about is what that. Okay, and that can complicate a relationship. The other thing also is intimacy can complicate a relationship in the sense that inafikanga point enye you find, you know, probably the partner, okay, the lady in the relationship amepata ball, and maybe you guys were not prepared, unwanted pregnancy, juu hamkutumia nini protection, so you find the lady has gotten amepata mimba, and now it's an unwanted pregnancy. Sasa mnaanza zile conversations za tutafanya nini, and it's almost like the guy anataka kuruka hii ball, anataka kusema ulicheat, anataka kusema si yake. So you see all that complication only because of intimacy. So intimacy si kitu kadogo, ni kitu enye either inaweza make the relationship ikue better, it can make you come together and be so connected, but also it can make you get to that point where you feel like ai manzi sasa hapa ni nini tunafanya. Okay, so it can really complicate. So when it comes to unwanted pregnancy, hiyo kwanza ina breaking relationship sana. I was watching a podcast on dating and walikuwa nasema ati relationships do break up when there is transitions. Most of the times relationships do break up when there are transitions. So maybe when somebody has passed, maybe when somebody has, you know, hiyo story ya kupata mimba. Okay, you see that's another transition because mlianziana mkiwa wawili, sasa ball imekuja, so sasa mmekuwa watatu, kama ni twins mmekuwa wanne. Okay, so that complicates the relationship. The other big problem when it comes to intimacy, you see, you will always find kuna mtu anajaribu kuregulate. Maybe kuna mtu anashinda akicomplain, ai hii kitu tumeifanya sana, ama hii kitu tunashinda tukipatana, kwani our relationship always ina revolve. And most of the times utasikianga tu ni mademo anateta. You will never hear a guy, hautawaisikia chali akiteta ati juu intimacy imekuwa mob. It's always about the ladies. It's always the ladies that wanatetanga na si wote. So sometimes you find they'll tell you, ai manze, kwani tutashinanga tumepatana kwa nyumba, kwani hatuendangi dates, kwani hutakuwa unanipeleka out, kwa nini lazima kila time tukipatana na nikuje kwako? So you see, it's all these conversations. By the way, kama unataka kuingia kwa relationship, expect those questions as a guy. Expect those questions. Utaulizwa. So anytime it kind of looks like it's the lady trying to regulate, sidhani, really I think it's the guys that try to regulate. So most of the times unapatanga ni madem ndio wanajaribu kuregulate, ile time utamuona, ile time mtakuwa na intimacy. So anytime you see that there's a person who is trying to regulate it, and maybe mkianziana ilikuwa tu poa, you guys were agreed, but ikafika point it's almost like one person started feeling, and the lady started feeling like, oh manze kitu nakupea sana, and then aanze kuregulate mechi, unapatanga hiyo relationship by the way inaendanga kuisha, ama inaendanga ikiisha juu because the guy now feels like ai ni aje, mbona unanikazia, mbona like wewe ndio una call the shots, so wewe ndio una decide when it will happen, when ndio una decide. So a guy can chalia anaweza boeka by the way, and the first option for that guy itakuwa tu ni kucheat. Okay, the other thing also ni when it gets to a point where one partner realizes you're not putting in effort. I have been in a conversation with a lady mwenye ananiambia she was actually married. Sijui kama ni married zile za harusi, but ni married ile ya come we stay. So wameanza kuishi na mwanaume, like it's almost like this is their person, this is their husband, washapata mtoi wa kwanza, and then she was telling me that yeye ndiye alikuwa na initiate intimacy, yeye ndiye alikuwa na initiate sex. So anytime like angetaka ama anytime angefeel wamekaa maybe for long, you see ladies, for them they see intimacy as ni kama ile kitu yenye inashikanisha relationship. Okay, for them maybe they don't see it as it's like a fun thing to do. Men see it as a fun thing to do, men see it as nimeboeka tupige mechi. But for ladies wanaionanga ni kama that's the thing that is holding together the relationship, especially ikifika kwa hiyo level enye mnaishi pamoja. Okay, and that's why you hear ladies wanatetanga sana that anaweza cheat, ama one of the things inawezafanya wa cheat ni juu the guy is not giving it to her. Okay, so once it gets to that point, you find that most men feel like when it gets to that point, you find like most men, I mean, unaweza pata one partner like put in the effort, so yeye anangojeaga tu wewe uanzishe. Okay, so even when it comes to the guys, sometimes una feel kuna madem putting effort. That's why you find a guy telling you kuna dem unaweza patana naye akupige mechi. You get like they have these different experiences. So akipatana na dem mwenye she's just there. It's almost like anakuachia and it's like where do whatever you want nini. She's there, by the way, ako very intentional, anaitaka lakini put in any effort. Sometimes that can actually complicate a relationship, because maybe you're with somebody who is adventurous, na inaweza kuwa dem hata ni yeye adventurous, anataka different style, anataka nini, yani yeye anataka ku experiment, but you find probably at that particular point either the guy ama the lady they don't want, okay, yeah, yeye anataka tu kawaida, anataka tu the same position, yani yeye ataki ku go beyond at whatever it is you want, okay. So sometimes because of kukosa hiyo understanding na kukosa kuelewa your partner, that can also that can also complicate the relationship. Juu sasa mmoja put in effort, mwingine haja put in effort. But anyway, kwa comment section make sure umeniandikia, how do you think intimacy complicates a relationship? How does it start to become complicated, okay?
Gachin Lion.